Greg was surprisingly good at chess. Harry thought that if Ron could stomach the thought of being in the same room with the largest Slytherin, Greg could give Ron a run for his money. Vince wasn't much into chess, preferring to spend the morning scratching in an art book. He occasionally glanced up at Greg and Harry, bit his lip, and went back to scratching on the paper. Harry had just put on his shoes to receive some pumpkin juice from the kitchen and suspiciously check on Draco when 2 owls flew in through the open dungeon window. Harry paused when he saw the panicked look on 2 Slytherin boys' faces. He watched as they accepted the letters and unrolled the parchments. The owls flew back out the window without waiting for an answer. Greg read quicker than Vince and had staggered to a chair, placing a head between his knees. Harry moved to help the other boy when Vince finished reading his own letter and simply collapsed on the floor where he stood. "Melon!" Harry yelped, torn between whom to help first. "What the hell?" Greg looked up, his face ashen, circles suddenly evident under his eyes. He held up the letter. "They want us to come home," he intoned monotonely. "They don't care about Draco's problem. This just gives them a chance to force the dark mark on us for him. It's a way to warm up the Malfoys." Vince spoke into the silence that followed. "They want us home for the intonation this weekend." His voice dropped to a whisper. "They want us marked by next week." Harry didn't know what to do when the larger boy started to shake. "What are we gonna do, Greg?" Vince whispered. "I don't know." Greg returned, his hands fisted into white balls of flesh. Harry frowned. "What do you want to do?" he asked a bit impatiently. "Surely you've thought about this before now." Greg smiled wearily. "Potter, no one but Draco has ever asked what we wanted. No one cares. We just do what our parents want, or, if we get away with it, what Draco wants." "Well, you know what your parents want." Harry gestured to the letter, still in Greg's hands. "What would Draco want?" "He knows we don't want to be Death Eaters," Vince piped in. "Would he support your refusal?" Vince shrugged. "Outwardly, I don't know. He's scared to death of his father. Privately, he'd applaud us for saying no." "I wish he were here. He'd tell us what to do," Greg said wistfully. Harry scowled. "That block," he snorted. "You don't need Draco to tell you what to do. What you need to do is have faith they're going to do the right thing. If Draco truly cares about you, he'll support you no matter what." Greg glared. "He does care about us." Harry shrugged. "Then whatever you decide will be fine." Vince carefully set his letter down on the floor next to him. "What do you think we should do?" Greg rolled his eyes. "That's a stupid question, Vince. Hero of the Wizarding World. Of course he thinks we should take the mark." Harry clenched his own fist in the folds of his robes. "Why does it always come down to that?" he demanded angrily. "So I'm Harry Potter. Who gives a crap? Why is me being Harry bloody Golden Potter always have to be the reason for not wanting you to take it?" He practically spat. "I'm the boy who that I'm the boy that had Death Eaters kill his family. That's why I think you shouldn't take it. I'm the boy who watches nightly as Voldemort murders muggles and tortures his own Death Eaters. That's why I think you shouldn't take it. Greg held Greg's hand, the one holding his own letter, slowly dropped as well. I'm the boy that's spent the last 6 years barely hanging on to what my life each year as Voldemort sends person after thing to kill me. That's why I think you shouldn't take it. I'm the boy who thinks you got more potential than spending the rest of your lives being lackeys to a murdering insane bastard. That's why I think you shouldn't take it. He glared in his pain into their eyes. I'm the boy who knows he'll face Death Eaters in a battle one day. It makes me sick to think that I may have to watch you be killed for having the wrong tattoo on your arm. That's why I think you shouldn't take it. I'm the boy who thinks his heart might break if he has to be the one to explain to a restored Draco Malfoy that his friends had to do this summer. That's why I think you shouldn't take it. Would you like some more bloody reasons? Draco stared up at him. Something in him began to awe. Greg had a more thoughtful look. You'd be sick if you had to see us killed? Harry eyed them incredulously. What? Of course. What? Would you even ask that? It's 'cause we're people too, right? Greg tried one last hand. Not 'cause you like us or anything. Harry sighed. I don't know you well enough to like you. All I've ever seen has been Crabbe and Goyle, Malfoy's bastard bodyguards. But I'd like a chance to get to know the Vince and Greg, Draco's friends. You want to get to know us? Vince looked hopeful. Yes, Harry nodded. Yes, I do. So, what is it you would like to want to know? He continued. Another sigh. Anything. What's your favourite colours? Which Quidditch team do you root for? What's your favourite foods you like to eat? Which girls are you interested in? Well, what about you? Greg threw back at him. What about me? Don't you think we should get to know you too? Vince said. Harry was surprised, but rather pleased. If the truth were told. Sure, he shrugged. That's fine, I'll answer whatever you'll answer, he said. Sly, a grin on his face. How's that sound? Greg returned the sly grin. Sounds fine. So, what are your favourite colours, Greg? Vince? I like blue, Vince said hesitantly. I'm rather partial to red, Greg said. But not because it's Gryffindor colours, he added pointedly. Harry grinned. I never would have thought that Greg actually... I would have never actually thought that, Greg. I actually like green myself. Not because of Slytherin. He tossed Greg's comment back at him. Who do you support in professional Quidditch? I like Puddlemere. Greg's eyes widened. Really? I love Puddlemere. Vince rolled his eyes. Yeah, he won't shut up about it. I like the Magpies, personally. So does Draco. What's your favorite food, then, Harry? I like vanilla custard. I think I like chocolate frogs the best, Harry answered slyly. Greg's eyebrows rose. Do you know why? Oh, sorry. Do you know why? Harry nearly flushed. It was the first wizarding food I've ever had. He nearly whispered. I know it's honky, but it's just a good memory, I suppose. Greg nodded. I can see that. My favourite is shepherd's pie. My parents won't serve it at home, though. They say it's too low class. He rolled his eyes. Harry smiled appreciatively at Greg's casual acceptance. So, he continued with a smirk, what about girls? Finn shrugged. We don't like girls. You don't? You're queer. Harry gaped. Both boys nodded. Both of you. They nodded again. Harry blinked. Oh, okay. So, which boys are you interested in? Oh. Greg frowned. You're okay with that? Sure, Harry shrugged. Why wouldn't I be? Don't you think it's sick? Greg pressed. That it's catching? That we're going to jump you? Harry grinned. Oh. No, not unless I'm one of the boys you're interested in. He raised an eyebrow. We're together, Vince blurted out. Greg flushed. You could have waited. Sorry. You could have waited, Greg hissed. Why? Vince looked confused. Greg sighed. Never mind. How long have you two been together? Harry asked curiously. 2 years. Vince smiled happily at Greg, who couldn't help but smile back. Congratulations, a little late, but heartfelt nonetheless. Thanks. Vince nodded. You really don't care? Greg couldn't seem to give it up. Really don't, Harry assured them. So, what about you? Vince asked eagerly. What lovely lady do you have your eye on? Harry flushed but grinned. Afraid I play this side of the fence too, guys. Oh, sorry, I messed that up. Afraid I play on your side of the fence too, guys. Jaws dropped in shock. The boy who lived is queer? Vince breathed. Harry sighed in frustration. No, I'm queer. Harry is queer. Me, just me. You really hate that, don't you? Greg peered at him. People pointing out the golden boy thing. Harry nodded. More than you could ever... more than you could possibly imagine. So, who do you like? Vince asked again. Harry got a dreamy expression on his face. It's not just a crush, is it? You're in love with this mystery guy, aren't you? Harry nodded with a tiny smile. I really think I am. Do we know him? Harry flushed. Yes. Yes, you do. What house is he in? Slytherin. Harry paused. Slytherin, he said softly. Who's in Slytherin? A new voice entered their conversation. Draco piped in from the doorway, bobbing right behind him, bearing a plate of cookies. Harry's got a crush on someone in Slytherin. Vince grinned at the little boy. Actually, Harry's in love with someone in Slytherin. Greg elbowed Harry with a matching smirk. Really? Draco looked interested. Who? Everyone, even Dobby, turned expectantly to Harry, who turned bright red with mortification. He looked helpless at first, then Greg and Vince finally looked at Draco. Well, he squeezed his eyes shut and wiped his hands down his face. I actually can't tell you right now, he finished in a whisper. Hey, Vince protested. You said you would if we did, and now you... Greg's eyes widened as he elbowed Vince, cutting him off. What? Vince snapped. But he did. I know, Vince, Greg murmured, and he did tell us. When? Just now, Greg said softly. I didn't hear him. Me neither, Draco added. Who do you love, Harry? Held up his arms, asking silently to be picked up. Harry smiled gently and leaned down to pick him up, cuddling Draco next to his heart. Well, you, of course, silly bear. Harry smiled into the adoring gaze. Draco bestowed on him. Didn't you know that already? I love you, Draco. Only you, he added, softly, pain in his voice. Vince's eyes widened. He softly got it as well. Draco laughed and hugged Harry back. I love you too, Harry, he said, nuzzling his head in the crook of Harry's neck. Harry smiled. Through tears leaked out of his eyes. He tried to wipe away on Draco's shirt, but it didn't move fast enough to keep Greg and Vince from seeing. Of course you do, Poppet. Now, tell me you brought some of those cookies you and Dobby made. Yep. Draco beckoned to Dobby, who handed the package to Harry. Sorrow, understanding in his limpid eyes. Harry flinched. Crap. Even the house elves know now, he thought. He plopped down into the couch, still cuddling Draco, and began to unwrap the cookies. Greg and Vince watched for long moments. And then, as one stood and moved the common room fire, determinedly they tossed their parents' letter into the flames and moved back to the couch. When they looked up, Harry was smiling, real affection in his gaze, and not just for Draco.